We'd like to ask where the money's going. What do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't think anybody is enabling fraud to happen.
Hold Governor Walz accountable for this.
What was this money spent on? 1.26 million. What was that money spent on? There aren't any kids.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside this building.
Hi, welcome back to all my back row patriots. I hope all is well. Happy New Year. If you're watching this in 2026, I just uploaded, this will probably be the last episode I upload of 2025. I am so pumped for 2026, and I hope that wherever you are watching this, I hope that God brings you abundance. I hope God brings you peace, and I hope God brings you excitement, especially in 2026. I cannot believe we're halfway through this more than halfway through this decade. Yeah, it's going to be it's been a wild ride. 2025 has definitely brought its challenges and tribulations, but I'm grateful for all the personal challenges that have came across me in this life this year, and I can't wait for what happens more in 2026. If you are watching this and it is the new year and you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Chaida. I'm a Black conservative commentator and writer, and this is my podcast where I discuss relevant issues surrounding people, society, culture, and politics. And I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that you're able to join me today. Before I get started, I want to share a scripture that I found in Exodus 12, and it says here in verse 49. I'm going to share a different translation, a certain translation. I think it's the Eastern Standard Version, and it says here, "There shall be one law for the native and for the stranger who sojourns." I don't really know how to pronounce that word. "Sojourns among you." And then in the more popular translation I share scriptures on this podcast is the New International Version. And it says here, in this same context, "The same law applies both to the native born and to the foreigner residing among you." And I think it's very pivotal about sharing this particular scripture, because in this podcast today, I'm going to be talking about the Somali daycare fraud scheme that seems to be taking over in Minnesota. Minnesota this year has just been ground zero for bureaucratic fraud, because obviously the Somali community has been taking advantage of our system, have been taking advantage of our tax-paying dollars and using it to funnel money into fake projects, fake programs, so they can channel that money back to their home country. You remember earlier this year where we heard the news of the death of the Minnesota state lawmaker, Melissa Hortman. And she was shot and killed in her home in Minnesota just days after she voted in favor of a bill that would terminate Minnesota free Medicaid health care for undocumented adult migrants. And I think this is I think her death was an inside job. I do believe that there were people in the government, and I believe that there are people in networks with the Somali community that hunted her down and they decided to do away with her after she was the only Democrat to vote in favor of that bill. And it's really just upsetting. And I really think that law enforcement needs to really investigate this because there is so much corruption that is happening within that particular community. Minnesota Somali daycare fraud scandal exposed a broken system. Millions, yes, millions of taxpayer dollars meant to provide centers an environment to support children. This is not an attack on the immigration community. It is an indictment of corruption, weak oversight, and politicians who looked the other way. When accountability disappears, fraud flourishes, and kids who actually need help suffer. Real families need help. Real providers play by the rules, and fraud steals from both. Justice means enforcing the law equally, protecting taxpayer funds, and refusing to stay silent because the truth is uncomfortable. And here is the truth. If you are an immigrant to America, you need to assimilate. Yes, that means you need to be able to speak English. You need to learn how to speak English. You need to learn to adapt to the American culture. You need to vote. You need to be educated on our history. Before you can vote, you need to be very educated about our history of America. You should know the three branches of government. You should at least remember some of the most significant presidents of the United States that have governed this nation over time. You need to learn civil law. You need to learn this basic American values, and that's what we're not seeing in the immigration community. You hear this phrase a lot that United States of America is a melting pot. Yes, it is beautiful that across this nation that we have people that come from all different parts of the world, every corner around the earth, and can come to this nation and become a citizen. That is not like any other nation. And the reason why is because we have principles, we have values that have stood the test of time and have proven that when good men and women come together and see each other as equals, we can prosper as a nation. We can do justice. We can give abundance. We can give life to everyone who comes to our country. You can start out as a low-income kid in Section 8 housing and become a multi-millionaire, have your own house. That doesn't happen anywhere else around the world. But here, if you're in America, if you dream it, you can make it happen. And that's what's beautiful about our nation, that anyone can start anywhere in life and start from the bottom and come up and make it great. So, and I think when it comes to the immigrant community, we see the Somali community, they come here, a ton of them come here and they settle in Minnesota. And instead of adapting to the American culture, instead of trying to learn English and speak English and learn civil law and actually try to assimilate and encompass and try to live among us, they decide to start these like fake daycare centers everywhere. And every time you look, they all look all boarded up, no windows showing, hardly any kids, and they all just look like broken down stores. Like if you go into these areas in Minnesota, you would think you were in a third world country. Yeah, third world country. They have brought their dirtiness from their home country and brought it here. And instead of trying to build themselves up, what they wanted to do is drain our taxpaying dollars and funnel it into paid programs so they can send it to themselves, give it to themselves and through perhaps groups in their nation, in their home country, and not really adjust to us and not really have to live among us. Why am I saying this? Because it matters. And I don't think enough people are upset about this, because a lot of this shouldn't be normal. It is not normal for immigrants to come here to this nation and not assimilate. We need to bring back things like making a requirement that they learn English and speak English. We need to make it a requirement that they learn civil law. We need to make it a requirement that they adapt before they become American citizens, before they're able to vote, before they're able to get any assistance from this country. They need to be able to prove that they are able to assimilate. So that's all I got to say. If you have been watching this, I want to thank you. And I hope that this episode really resonates with you. If you can, give this episode a like. And consider subscribing. So if you like more commentary like this, and be sure to share this episode with your friend, a family member, or even your next door neighbor who just loves, if anyone who truly loves America and loves its values and wants commentary on different issues through an unfiltered Christian conservative viewpoint, I'm your girl. Anyways, this is her time and this is her America. I look forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to seeing this trend grow in the new year. And if you're watching this in 2026, Happy New Year. Anyways, love you all, back row patriots. Bye. Back again. Wow, you're amazing. Please be sure to give today's episode a thumbs up and leave a comment. If you're new here, subscribe so you can stay in tune for more episodes. Want to get to know me a little bit more? You should follow me on social media. I provide the links to all my social media platforms in the description of each podcast episode. Did today really resonated with you? Then you'll even love my deeper dives on my Substack. So please be sure to check it out when you can. Always remember, stay rooted in truth, stand firm in grace. And always remember, this is her